GB News presenter and former UKIP leader Nigel Farage has been heavily linked with starring on this year's I'm a Celebrity. Get Me Out of Here, which launches on November 19. The move would see him follow in the jungle footsteps of disgraced former Health Secretary, Matt Hancock, who surprisingly finished the series in third place behind ex-footballer Jill Scott and Hollyoaks' Owen Warner. Despite proving a controversial figure in British politics, particularly after spearheading the Brexit campaign, Farage's signature would prove somewhat of a coup for ITV bosses. However, the broadcaster should be mindful of the 59-year-old's outspoken history, having been accused of racism, sexism and xenophobia throughout his career. Responding to rumors of him heading down under last week, Farage explained, "Several times since 2016 I've had I'm a Celebrity Get Me Out of Here say to me, come into the jungle. And they've always offered me really quite substantial sums of money to do so. And I've always thought, no, it's probably not the right thing for me to do." He continued, "They've been back on the phone this year and you might have seen The Sun put me on the front page mocked up as if I was there already. And the Mail say I am seriously considering it. Well, I'll tell you what, you've got about 10 million young people who watch that program. These are people who don't really watch the news or read newspapers, but they still care about the country they live in and about their futures. And actually, in many ways, the futures of young people in Britain have been blighted. They haven't got the same opportunities that their parents and grandparents had. And they'd love to look for solutions. So in my mind, if I was to do it, I might be able to connect with that audience because goodness me they all watch it. There are downsides to doing it as well. I haven't absolutely fully made up my mind. I'm running a poll as we speak on TikTok asking people, do you think I should do it? Or do you think I should not do it? I am in talks contractually. And those talks have been going on for 2 or 3 days, and there will be an absolute definitive answer within the next 48 hours. Now, we look back at some of the ex-politician's most controversial comments. Ludicrous gun ban. Back in 2014 Farage was branded an idiot over his suggestion that a ban on the private ownership of handguns in the United Kingdom should be lifted. Unlike America, guns have been strictly controlled in the UK following the 1996 Dunblane massacre that saw 15 children and their teacher shot dead at a school in the Scottish town. Farage said the ban was ludicrous, adding that if you criminalise handguns then only the criminals carry the guns. Feeling unsafe in the same year, meanwhile, Farage was accused of a racial slur after claiming he would be concerned if he had to live next door to Romanian immigrants. In an interview with LBC, he said, "I was asked if a group of Romanian men moved in next to you, would you be concerned? And if you lived in London, I think you would be." Adding fuel to the fire when asked if his feelings would be the same towards German neighbours, he said, "You know the difference." Immigration blame game. Another 2014 faux pas saw Farage blame immigration for his late appearance at a £25 per head meet and greet event in Port Talbot, Wales. In an attempt to justify his tardiness, he explained, "It took me 6 hours and 15 minutes to get here, it should have taken 3.5 to 4. That has nothing to do with professionalism. What it does have to do with is a country in which the population is going through the roof chiefly because of open-door immigration and the fact that the M4 is not as navigable as it used to be." Defending xenophobia. Farage was later accused of xenophobia in response to a UKIP party candidate's derogatory term when describing Chinese people. After Carrie Smith was sacked from her job for saying the word CHKY, Farage defended her, stating, "If you and your mates were going out for a Chinese, what do you say you're going for?" After declaring that he wouldn't use the word himself, he added, "A lot would." Breastfeeding outburst. Farage then suffered the wrath of young mums in 2014 after weighing in with his thoughts on breastfeeding in public. The father of four suggested women should sit in the corner during feed times. "I think that given that some people feel very embarrassed by it, it isn't too difficult to breastfeed a baby in a way that's not openly ostentatious," he said. "Or perhaps sit in the corner, or whatever it might be." Female staff worth less. The Reform UK Party's honorary president managed to alienate working women shortly afterwards, by bizarrely claiming females were worth far less than their male counterparts. At a European Union Q&A session, Farage insisted the gender pay gap wasn't a result of discrimination. "A woman who has a client base, has a child and takes 2 or 3 years off, she is worth far less to her employer when she comes back than when she went away, because that client base won't be stuck as rigidly to her portfolio," he said. Follow Mirror Celebs on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube and Threads.